So you want to get training, you pay all this money, you take time off from work, you travel, you show up with all of your gear, you're excited to learn, and the guy's a freaking asshole. What do you do?
Right away, you've got to tell people to piss off.
I'm Ryan Gresham, and this is Gun Talk Nation. Gun Talk Nation is brought to you by CZ USA, Silent Steel, Vortex, Range Ready, FN, EOTech, Taurus, and Remington Ammunition. All right, welcome into Gun Talk Nation. Gun Talk Nation. This week, we're going to have our Director of Training of Range Ready Studios, Chris Serino, because Chris, we have to talk about training and classes and the types of things that you see and the things that happen in classes, because although there's not, we always say, and people listen to this may or may not know, there's like 80 or 90 million gun owners in America. And the number of people that take a full day, or even better yet, 2-day or 3-day class is very, very small. Like 8,000 people a year, maybe? It's like 0.001% or something.
That's how I want to make my living, teaching classes.
Yeah, this is great. I'm going to do something that nobody wants to do.
Yeah,
I like to offer a service that no one wants to buy.
I'm going to hang out a shingle and try to poach like 1 or 20 of those 8,000 people.
It's our cut of our running joke. Everybody is like, well, we have this thing that not a lot of people purchase, this service. But when they do training, and I think people think I'm just like, oh, you just want us to come sign up for your thing. Actually, I just want you to go sign up for anybody's thing, because
just make sure it's a good one.
Well, that's where we get into that. How do you know?
Stories,
How do you know? Mostly, I mean, certainly when they come here, we're basically, we ask people to review our courses, and we give us a 1 through 10. This is anonymous. They don't have to put their name. We don't look at them then. I
don't like to look at them ever, but you guys make me read them sometimes because
we're
there's
trying
good
to learn.
ideas.
We want to get better. I want the constructive criticism, and basically we get mostly 10 out of 10, sometimes 9 out of 10s.
Here's what I want to hear.
That's it.
I want to hear if something's wrong, or if there's something I can do better.
Yeah.
I don't need anybody blowing smoke up my skirt. I don't need anybody telling me that it was fantastic, because I know it was fantastic. I gave them 110%.
Yeah.
If you don't think it was, then tell me why.
Yeah, we really want to know. I mean, sometimes I'm disappointed when I get when I look through and it's just nothing but glowing reviews. I'm like, all right, well, good. That's what we want to have happen. That's our expectation.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a little feedback of like, well, and sometimes we get it.
Early on, when we first started Range Ready, we got some really good stuff, and I would tell Hannah, I don't want to read them, just let me know if there's something wrong. She'd be like, well, I think you should see this. Mm-hmm. And it was about, hey, more chairs for this, more space for that. Hey, how about some water? Or hey, maybe a few more breaks, because man, it is hot out there, and I am a slave driver, and I forget sometimes.
Well, you're trying, and you always tell
I'm trying to give them their money.
You're trying to give them their money, like give them the value, their money's worth. Very sensitive to that. We all are, of like, these people paid good money and took time to travel here or whatever it is.
Right.
So people are training all over the country. Not a lot of them, but more of you should. I promise you won't regret it. I don't care if you come here or go somewhere else. But we're going to talk about a few things in this episode. We're going to talk about the class we just had, which was a pistol carbine combo class. Some fun things that we saw there, some things we learned, some funny things. We're going to talk about experiences that we've heard from other people going other places. And how do you know if somebody's going to be a good trainer or a bad trainer? And what do you do if you're in a class where you go, man, this is no good?
How do you know when to walk out?
How do you know when to walk out?
Because it happens.
You just mag dump and just yell yippee-ki-yay. And
I just throw my gun in the mud because I've got so many. I just throw it in the ground because it makes a big statement. And I turn around and I just walk out. I leave it. And I'm like, congratulations, you got a free gun. But I'm gone.
Keep the gun. So we're running this carbine pistol class, and I told you, Chris, one of the funny things is pistol classes, people bring their pistols, and it's not usually too wild. I mean, people have their pistol, and it's either a Glock or an M&P or a Walther or a Sig Sauer.
You would think they couldn't screw that
or a
up.
Springfield or a Taurus or whatever. And it's typically polymer striker fired 9mm guns for the most part. Maybe you got the 1911 guy or whatever. It's pretty fine. But the weird part is carbines. You see all kinds of weird stuff at carbine class.
Man, and it usually starts off with, well, I built this one.
I mean, this is every carbine class we've had, and I literally was thinking, I wonder what Chris has seen, because it always starts with, all right, well, show me what you brought.
Yeah, I like
And
to look them over.
it's not like we're trying to say this is good or this is bad or you should have bought a this brand. No, it's just like, how do you evaluate what?
Well, first I look for mechanical correctness. I make sure the triggers are installed correctly, because that's one of the things people screw up. I look to make sure accessories are installed, correctly, properly, because I see things wrong all the time. Heck, I had a guy come into a class many years ago. I think Gibb was in it, and he had an EOTech on the gun, but it was on backwards because it looked like an RMR would mount on a pistol, right? Like a regular red dot sight. So he had it on that way, and I looked at it, and I didn't think anything of it until I had really scrutinized it and picked it up, and then I was like, wait a minute, that's not the way that's supposed to go. It looks right, but it wasn't.
EOTech holographic sights are awesome, but they look backwards when they're correctly installed.
They look like a pistol sight put on backwards.
Yeah.
This class, there were some things poorly installed. Of course, there's always a list, and I have a list sitting in my lap right now. I just don't want to bang through it because there's so many things. But first I looked at the guns for mechanical correctness. If there's something that I can see that's wrong, I fix
Optics loose.
it. Optics being loose, things installed backwards or incorrectly or in the wrong places.
And then just functionality, right? You said triggers. So specifically, what we're kind of talking about, I think, is does the safety work? When the safety is on, will the trigger not fire? And vice versa, right?
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. And then, I look for what kind of sling they have on it. And, when you get a guy that's, 5 feet tall or barely 5 feet tall, and he has a single point sling with a full 16-inch gun with the stock extended, and now we're looking at, I don't know how many inches we're talking about overall, but somewhere close to 40. And it's hanging like a pendant around his neck. We have to have a discussion about that and how that's going to work on the range and what the learning process will be.
A single point sling, the gun is hanging between his legs, and if it's a short guy,
it's literally scraping the ground.
It's scraping the ground. The muzzle is scraping the ground.
And you can't take any more adjustment out of it because he's just that small of a guy,
Yeah.
And it looks, I don't know, guys, I'm not beating up on anybody because I love our students and they love me. They treat me really well. I give them 110%, and I try to be honest with them. Like we had a front sight that was on backwards. The sights go on the gun a certain way. The rear one goes to where it lays and it comes to the end of the charging handle, unless it's some kind of wonky configuration, because there are some cheap Chinese things out there that are so big they can actually get in the way of your charging handle. But it goes here. The front sight goes at the end. The front sight, when it folds back towards you. It doesn't fold out forward. And if it says directional stuff on it, like where they usually want you to be able to see that. Not the bad
behind
guy.
the gun.
The bad guy doesn't need to see that this is the way it goes up to put the sight up.
That's a clue.
And then we had red dots that didn't have proper risers on them. Well, when you buy, and listen, I shot in this class, I shot a gun with a primary arms optic on it. I shot it because it's an etched reticle. Because I cannot shoot really well in front of students doing zero stuff with a red dot because I just can't get a fine enough sight picture.
Okay.
So I shot this etched reticle, primary arms. Believe it or not, it came with 3 different size risers. So the one that's on it is probably not the one you should leave on it.
Really? Why is that?
Because you have to get it up high enough so you can actually cheek the rifle.
So you need
It came with the lowest one, and then you can decide which one you want for your rifle. But if you don't put any on it, you can't see down the gun. And then when the iron sights get in the way of looking through the sight,
Yeah.
I mean folded down
you're fighting
iron sights.
And that's probably a good rule of thumb, right? Is you shouldn't be fighting the gun or fighting the equipment. It should be kind of like effortless. You know, to mount it, it just feels normal. You're not straining anything. You're not cocking your head up or down or sideways. Like it should just be
Should
like
just roll right up to your eye.
you're standing in a comfortable position and you raise the gun up and then you can put the gun to your shoulder, you can look through the optic and you can pull the trigger.
Right. And when we talk about presentations and stuff like that, that happens. So then we talk about the good and the bad and the ugly about having vertical grips on the guns. You know, because the vert grip can really help you hold the gun solid. But where do you put it? How far do you need to stretch for it? How far should it be back? And when you do hold it, do you hold it like this, like it's a broom handle, so that the gun can pivot inside? Or do you hold it like a pistol and lock that gun in?
All right, so there's somebody listening right now who has a vertical grip on their AR, probably a bunch of people. What's Chris Sereno's little advice for this?
Until you start shooting heavy tactical stuff or competitions, working around vehicles and barricades, you'll never know what a pain in the butt that thing's going to be, because you can no longer lay that handguard across a flat surface. You can no longer get up over a car. You'd have to go junkyard style, which means normally we would lay the gun on a car like we would shoot prone, but you have to lay it completely flat and sideways. But then, do you have a flashlight over there? Is that going to be a problem? And, until you start taking a class and working around the environment, you don't realize how bad it was. So then one gun had the Magpul slant grip on it, whatever. I like those. I like the way they feel, the wedge. But it was not an AR. It was like a Bren rifle, and the rifle was literally, I don't know, from bottom to top, almost 4 inches thick. And he had small hands, then he added the wedge grip to it, so now he's just kind of holding it like it's resting in his hand. He can't grip it, can't pull it back into him.
The point is, and you don't run vert grips on a lot of stuff, do you?
I don't have any.
Okay. But you're saying what you want to be able to do is pull the gun into you to make it more stable if you're going to use
You got to crush through
some
that
sort of
subcutaneous
vertical grip.
layer. And that's the whole idea, is pulling that gun into you. And it's really not your strong hand that does the work. It's your support hand that's wrapping on there and doing it. I mean, the strong hand does some, but it's not the majority of that pulling in.
Yeah.
Because if you don't crush through that subcutaneous layer, then you're kind of firing on this water bag. You got to pull into that muscle. Yeah, you got to drive into there. And I'm guilty of it. But the vert grips have their time and their place. If the vert grip helps you run your flashlight in a tactical operation, that's fine. But I guarantee you, when you start working around, small holes that you need to fire through, whether it's windows or firing off and around pieces of cover, that thing gets in the way.
I think this is a good transition of how classes can help you test gear and really figure out what works, because you can put it on there, but if you don't run the gun a bunch, you won't know. We'll talk about that after the break. If you're serious about everyday carry, look no further than the CZ Shadow 2 Carry. It's built to perform when it matters most. This configuration brings the legendary handling of the Shadow 2 into a package designed for everyday carry. You're getting ergonomics built for fast, confident control, whether you're training or trusting it for daily carry. And as you'd expect from CZ, it's built with the kind of reliability you can count on every single day. The CZ Shadow 2 Carry. Born to compete, built to carry. Silent Steel USA. They've actually been making suppressors over in Europe for quite some time, and they know what they're doing. Their next generation Flow IQ technology suppressor is purpose-built to reduce gas blowback while maintaining exceptional sound suppression. It's also easy to clean, lightweight, modular, and their new one, the Streamer, is 9mm. They have different sizes. It works great. It sounds great. It also has great heat management. We actually tested that and we're pretty impressed by it. Silent Steel USA delivers cutting-edge suppressors engineered for safety, durability, and performance, trusted by military professionals and shooting enthusiasts alike. Growing up in the Gresham household, we had binoculars everywhere, in the truck, in the pack, in the house, in multiple rooms. It's just nice to have binos you can grab and see what you're looking at. Well, along those lines, Vortex has brought out a new line of Triumph HD binos. They have a 10 power, they have a 12 power, and these are binos that don't break the bank, so it's honestly, you can get a couple of them and stash them all over the place. No need to overthink it. Just grab them and glass. Here's what you would need to know about it. Fully multi-coated lenses deliver good images. I actually used these when I was up at Vortex and was pretty impressed. Rugged, no-nonsense design means you can focus on what you're trying to see and not worry about anything else. You can learn more and go check them out over at Vortex, the Vortex Triumph HD binoculars. What if you could be significantly better with your firearms in a short time? At Range Ready Studios, we offer handgun and rifle classes to help you be the best you can be. You'll be safer, more competent, and just better at the range. We also offer special experience classes, which include the gun, the ammo, the gear, and the training. Learn more at rangereadystudios.com. So Chris, the fact of the matter is, people like to put a lot of stuff on their guns, but a lot of times they put it on their guns, they take pictures of it, they say, isn't this neat? But they don't test it, and going to a class is a great way to test your gear.
Well, and that was said this week too, and the carbine portion especially, because people always say, well, I guess that's what training's for, to find out what works and what doesn't. Yeah, no kidding. People operate in unconscious incompetence a lot until they go to training.
Right. Well, they like what they've put on the gun. Or you see, like the Magpul little wedge thing. It's not that it's bad. I mean, it's good for certain things.
On a slender handguard, it can be fantastic.
Oh, that's neat. But like, what is the purpose of it? What are we doing right now?
And then it's in one spot. Remember, it's in one spot. Once you put it on, you can't really change it. You can work around it here and there, but then you're not using it. So, find a place where it's going to work, figure out what it does for you. If you have it on a slender handguard where you can actually grab the wedge and the handguard, man, how great is that? I mean, it's going to give you all kinds of force to pull that gun into you and control it. And I'm not saying any of this stuff is bad. It's just that there's a time and a place for everything. And people come to training and they say, man, I guess that's what training's for, like the slings. They got these slings that are really, really nice, but then they don't do what they need them to do, or they've got them mounted incorrectly.
What do you see people do that's incorrect on their slings?
They will mount them around the handguard sometimes, and then they have a big attachment and their hand gets in the way. So then the sling is in the way of their hand being able to manipulate the safety selector. People ask me, we've had Blue Force Gear here to run classes with us, and they like to run their slings out far. Well, the little guy that ran his sling out far, he goes, well, why do you run yours in close? I said, I run it in close because I don't use my sling for support. I don't wrap into my sling ever. My sling is just a holster for my gun. I said, this is what you can do with it out there. He goes, I like that. I'm going to leave it like that. And I said, yeah, you should do whatever works for you. Well, then it was in his way every time he tried to manipulate the gun. He goes, I'm going to have to move this back because every time I do something with my arm, I hit it.
Yeah. I mean, going back to the whole, now you've run the gun a bunch in a multi-day class, and you go, this doesn't work anymore. Or like maybe something, I find this is true on pistols too. You like it, you think you like it, it feels good. Let's talk about grip texture or whatever. But then you run it for 2 or 3 days and you're like, dude, I need more texture on this. My hands are sweaty and the gun's
I like
slipping.
the way this feels. It's not too aggressive. You really want it not too aggressive?
Or it's super aggressive and your hands are getting raw after 3 days of shooting. You're going, holy smokes. Now, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe you can have super aggressive texture on your pistol, on a pistol that you're not running a 3-day class for. Like, in the moment at, the 7-Eleven, when I need it, I grip it and I shoot it, my hands aren't getting raw, who cares? Sure, that could be true.
Right. Like the people that text you up underneath the trigger guard, and it's like, oh, I even put some up here because it gives me a little bite. I'm like, yeah, it might wear you out after a little while. Oh yeah, by the way, that's wearing me out. What can I do? I don't know. Here's a cigarette lighter. Heat it up and just let it flatten itself out, and then it takes care of itself, you know?
That's right. What else are, with carbine specifically, what else is on your list?
Well, when I see a junky dot that comes in like something that should be on an airsoft gun, I have a really hard time saying, hey, so usually what I say is, hey, I hope it works. I mean, because we had one that was, it wiggled, it moved, the housing moved, and he's like, oh, I was shooting dime-sized groups off the bench at the range last week. And the thing wiggled and moved. When you turned the directional controls to zero it, there's just tension, no clicks. So it's like a guessing game. The red dot itself was like, it was a circle dot, but it wasn't a standard size, like with a 65 MOA outside circle with a dot in the middle. It was just a tiny, tiny little circle with a dot in the middle. I mean, it's airsoft stuff, right?
Right.
So then it wasn't shooting straight. And I'm like, well, let me shoot your gun because, I can shoot a gun. I can shoot a gun. I just shot other guns fine. And I get down on it and I put one every 3 inches, including off the sighter target paper. And I'm like, all right, there's something wrong with this gun. So then we shoot it enough that we're struggling. We take it and we just use the iron sights, and then we can shoot it and shoot straight.
Well, and it's so hard when you're training. Yes, vetting your gear is a benefit of training. I don't know that it's the reason to go to a training class. Like, the reason to go to a training class to me is to improve your skills and learn what you need to work on.
And vet your gear.
And it's helpful that you can vet your gear there, but it doesn't need to be an experiment for 2 days. Like, it's really hard to train.
No, it shouldn't be an experiment.
It's not, that's not the point of this, right? Like, it's really hard to train because if you're all over the target, Chris is going to go, well, is he shooting poorly? Or is the gun not accurate?
Chris says,
is the optic
hey, what are you doing over there? Do you mind if I shoot that real quick? And then I shoot it, and I'm like, yeah, it shoots great. Let's work on something. And then we know we need to work on something. Yeah. But like where you're going with this is what I have one of my other notes in here. It's like, all right, so you spend $600 on a class, right? And you come in here with a single ply Kmart leather belt, and your stuff is hanging off, your pants are falling down, you can't get it tight enough, the gun won't stay in one place, you're struggling with that for 2 or 3 days because you don't spend $60 on a good belt. Well, what's a good belt? Well, the one guy says to me, he said, well, the link on your website didn't work for the slings that you kind of recommend. Like, I have a couple slings I really like, and of course I like Tab Gear. I've used it for years and years. It works really well for me, okay? He says, well, but the website didn't work, so I just bought this. I said, did you want to email me and let me know that the link on the website? He goes, yeah, now that I've done this and I've bought this and it was incorrect,
yeah, and
I see what you have and I like that, I wish I would have said something. So $1,000 rifle, and they won't spend $75 on a good sling. Let's spend $35 on a strap.
Yeah. You're going to spend $70 on dinner. You're in town. I'm going to go have a steak and a glass of wine, like, dude, that's something that's holding your gun there. And we're talking about it especially this is, for the most part, this is defensive use stuff. So I'm going to repeat the old Tom Gresham slogan of, like, you don't want to buy the cheap parachute, whether that's guns or slings or optics or whatever.
And I have some of those slings I've had for as many as 20 years now, and they still work. They're still serviceable, and I still use them, and I still buy new ones every once in a while because I used to have so many more, but I keep loaning them out, and then they disappear.
Yeah.
But the sling is to the rifle what a holster is to a pistol. So, you can buy this cheap, not even Kydex. These people come in with these holsters that are just, the reason they buy them is because they're at the gun store, they're on a rack, and there's a whole. I bought this gun. Here's what I have. Oh, here's the holster for you. There you go. And they buy it because people still don't know that the internet exists. And I hate to say that because the brick and mortar places, they're still family businesses.
We love them.
We love them.
Support them and
but
stuff.
But freaking put good stuff on your shelves. There are stores that do that.
And there's certain categories. I mean, this is something to people for them to know. There's certain categories of product that's just very difficult for a gun store. Holsters being one of them.
Yeah.
Dude, can you imagine being a gun store and obviously
carrying them all?
If you're in retail, you have to stock this stuff and you don't want it to just sit on the shelf. You want it to move. So holsters are impossible. If I was a gun store, I'm not sure I would even stock holsters. I'd be like, listen.
I would do an affiliate program with somebody and everybody I referred to them, I would get a cut of it.
Because you think about it. I mean, any holster company you talk to, they're like, dude, we have like 4,000 SKUs. How's that possible? We have 100 SKUs for Glock.
Yeah.
Is it right-handed or left-handed? Is it inside the waistband or outside the waistband?
We got 20 SKUs just for the M&P of Smith & Wesson.
Is it a light bearing or not light bearing?
Right.
Is it optics ready or not optics ready? Those are just, and we haven't even talked about models.
Yeah, barrel length, trigger guard, the way they're created. I mean, and then these pistol companies change something about the slide cut, or they change the width of the trigger guard, or something just simple, and all of a sudden everything's gone.
Yeah.
It's all different.
Chris, we got to talk about, because people will say, okay, fine, I want to go attend a class, but how do I know which class to take? How do I know if it's going to be any good? It's a bunch of money, which we appreciate, that it's cost hundreds of dollars, even thousands of dollars if you're going to travel. And then what happens if you get there and the instructor is a jerk or unsafe? What do? We're going to talk about all that right after this. FN has launched 4 new products for the U.S. commercial market. The FN 309 MRD is an easy-to-rack, easy-to-load, self-defense pistol designed for peace of mind performance. FN also improved a legend with the next generation of SCAR series, now with 25 innovative upgrades and no price increase. The next generation of SCAR is suppressor capable, especially with FN's brand new forward venting suppressors, the FN QD762 and the FN QD556. Lots of new and exciting stuff from FN America. One of the nice features about the eFlex CE is a programmable sleep mode that powers down the optic, as well as shake-awake technology that powers the optic back up with just the slightest movement. The 3 reticles to choose from, that's kind of nice, and it's designed to fit the Delta Point Pro or the RMSC footprint. The eFlex CE from EOTech is sure to be a great addition to any optics-ready pistol. All right, let's talk about the new Taurus TX9 series, because sometimes you want a 9mm that's straightforward, reliable, and doesn't require a second mortgage to actually shoot it a lot. The TX9 is built for the stuff that matters: solid ergonomics, easy handling, and the kind of shootability that makes practice feel less like training and more like, hey, one more mag. If you're shopping for a new 9mm for the range, home defense, or just a do-it-all pistol, the TX9 series is worth a look. Looking to level up your hunt or tighten up those groups? Well, look no further than Remington Ammo. Yeah, the stuff in the green box is super accurate, and they've got everything from hunting ammo, shot shells, rimfire, match ammo. So check those out. Under rifle, they've got the Premier line, the Premier AccuTip, the Premier Long Range, Premier Match. Handgun, they've got even core-locked handgun. Of course, Golden Saber, you know it, you love it, you trust it. Wheel gun ammo. Shot shell, it doesn't matter if you're target shooting or hunting. They've got a lot of different options for you. And then, of course, rimfire. It's kind of the go-to. All in that green box. Remington Ammo. So you want to get training, you pay all this money, you take time off from work, you travel, you show up with all of your gear, you're excited to learn, and the guy's a freaking asshole. What do?
Man, we're really starting off strong here, aren't we? I'll tell you what, it's happened. I've heard people that have said they've walked out of classes mostly due to safety, but I just recently had a story for an absolute jerk that just, listen, usually if I get somebody shooting well on the line, I don't beat them down. I find the details that are going to make them shoot even better than they are. But I just heard a story about one of my guys shooting and doing a great job, and the instructor was up his rear end about how his groups were too tight and he wasn't investing himself in the training.
Let's get into the groups too tight thing, Chris, because this is a weird thing that still keeps floating around on the internet, that people will say you got to spread out your shots.
Well, I'll tell you what, if anybody tells you to spread out your shots, what you do is you say, number one, you hand the instructor your gun, because that instructor doesn't even have a gun on, right?
Because he's not going to shoot in front of people.
No, he's not going to shoot in front of you. And you hand him your gun and you say, okay, I would like to see you spread out the shots, but can you do it for me like this? Would you put one in the head, one in each shoulder, one in the chest, one in the belly button, and one in each hip socket for me, please? That would be, to me, spreading out your shots, because that would be intentional. Would it not be correct?
Right.
So right away, you've got to tell people to piss off.
Basically, what we're saying is spreading out your shots. It's BS.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, we're shooting at a piece of paper that's glued to cardboard, stapled to a stick. It's not moving or shooting back at you. Do I need to say that again?
Say it again.
Okay. We're shooting at a piece of paper, glued to cardboard, stapled to a stick. It's not moving or shooting back at you.
And what happens when it does start shooting back at you?
Well, you'll wish to God you could put those tight groups on that target when it goes dynamic and starts shooting back at you. You wish you could place your shots, because that is super hard. Even I have a hard time with it, shooting any kind of moving target or when things go dynamic, because in a dynamic world, we have to have a defense for a trained technique. Like, I train people to make every shot count, right? Because when it goes dynamic, there's a really good chance that everybody is going to miss. Anybody can miss. If I let you shoot terrible and I tell you to, make bigger groups. Oh, look at that. Hey, look at that. You got them all on the cardboard. My man, makes my stomach sick just thinking about it. It's like I'm moving as fast as I can. I'm locked in. I am sorry that they're all going through the same spot. When I shoot demos sometimes, I'll shoot 2 rounds and they go through the same hole, because the gun rises and falls. And if I do the same thing twice, chances are I might get the same result twice. Mm-hmm. So don't talk to me about that. But yeah, so you get speed up about, his shooting too tight, he's not invested in the training, whatever the guy wants to say to him. And this is one of the most humble, studious guys that I know. Like,
who's been to a lot of training courses.
A lot of training.
Yeah.
And then we hear from other people in the class that they're also experiencing the same type of discontent.
With the
right?
instructor.
Yeah.
Chris, what is that? Because it doesn't happen all the time, but
no,
it definitely happens where shooting instructors, occasionally you get this person who's kind of unreasonable or a jerk or not helpful or whatever. Is it a case of they come from a law enforcement or military background, and the old school way is it's sort of that, well, I was taught by the drill sergeant who was an asshole to me, so I'm going to be an asshole to everybody else. Like, it's like they're all trying to qualify. I'm like, no, actually, these are just regular citizens who paid their own money. The department didn't send them here.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know what sets me apart from other people other than the fact that my training is based on the sum of my experiences, because I really haven't trained. I mean, I have a bunch of certifications,
Chris,
and I have
why does this happen? What is your theory on why someone is this way?
Egos get in the way. People, I don't want you to be better than me. I call you out and you shoot a demo. If you do really well and I expect you to screw up, you know what I say. You've probably been there when I say it. And I go, well, that's not exactly what I expected to happen. Let's see if we can get somebody who can do it wrong. I'm glad he did it right. I'm glad he did a good job. I'm never disappointed by that. I want people to shoot as good or better than me. I don't get it, Ryan. I don't get it. You know how I am. I mean, I yell because I care, and the beatings will continue until performance improves. But I also sprinkle that with humor and self-deprecating humor, and I will deprecate you as well, because when you screw up and you say, yeah, I saw that, I even felt that, we laugh about it together and we move forward.
Yeah.
Because mistakes are experience. You know, we get so much experience in classes from all that. And why would you be a jerk? Why would you be a jerk to people that spent their money to train with you? Unless, of course, this is a class that they have to go to maintain their certification with your company.
Could be something there. I mean, but it's just, it is a weird thing.
That was a very gut-filled move right there. What that was.
Gut-filled? Well, you know, I think that some people forget the business they're in. It's kind of like, well, I'm here to yell at you. Like, I'm here to, because we're shooting guns, we're going to pretend we're all, you know, that you've entered the academy. Or, yeah, we're tactical or whatever. Like, listen, I want to get better, but I also am here to have fun. I don't want to be...
If you're not having fun, you can't learn anything. And the brain
for 2 days.
will only absorb what the ass can endure.
Yeah.
And if your ass is constantly getting chewed, you're not absorbing anything.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts.
Yeah. What's the best class that you've ever been to? Because you actually take classes in addition to...
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, I do once in a while. I mean, my blessing is that I've got to shoot with some of the best people in the world, and that's my big thing. And I have been to some great classes. And the thing for me is, all the classes, they want to speed me up because they think I want to be the fastest in the world. So they give me the little details that can speed me up. But since I do what I do with you guys, and we shoot so many different guns, I can't apply them all because I'm not the one guy with one
Specialist, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually try to be generalists here.
I'm a generalist, right?
Yeah.
And then what I get is I get nuggets. I get little cool drills, but I also have to see the value in a drill. Like, is it a thinking drill? Is it a grip drill? Is it, grip sights and trigger type of drill? How can I apply this that it makes me better? And that's kind of cool. But I'll tell you what, one of the best things I did was when we went up to Sig Sauer, we had a great time, and going to those instructor level classes like that, if you can get into them, it's great. I love it. I like to learn new things. I like to hear somebody say the same thing I'm saying, or I've been saying for years, but say it completely different. And then my brain goes, wow, I love the way you said that. Because that's exactly what I mean, except I don't say it that way.
Sure, it's a new way to explain it.
Yes.
And you kind of have to do that, I think, as a teacher, is you have to find like several different ways to say the same thing because it may resonate with somebody in a different way.
Like, I like going to gun sight. I like going up there. I enjoy shooting with their people. I know that the instructors kind of teach to the lesson plan, but they know more. And when they know you, or if you've been there a few times, they probably give you extra little nuggets and things. So they'll come up to you and say stuff. Well,
it's a balance, right? You can only, you can't get into the level 2 type of information if you're still working on the level 1 information with the majority of the class. It's kind of tricky that way.
Yeah, I mean, this weekend's class was pistol and carbine. It was essential skills. What do you think that means? It means it's essential skills. I give you what I think you need to get your journey started. But everybody was there, except for, 2 people hadn't taken a class ever, but their skill levels were good. So it was like we could do a little bit more. And so we did a little bit more. But as soon as I did anything that involved thinking while shooting, they come unglued, all of them.
Really?
And I'm like, everybody wants advanced training. There is no advanced training. There's advanced applications of the basics. So we do a simple reload drill, and they look like a frog looking at a wristwatch, a monkey humping on a football. I don't know, because it's a mess. It's like a turkey noodle hoagie, which is a soup sandwich, but it's on a paper plate. It gets, it's like, let's make it worse. You're a soup sandwich, man, a turkey noodle hoagie on a paper plate. What is that? Well, that's a mess.
It's a mess.
And I'm like, tell me what is advanced about any of this. Drawing a pistol from the holster, shooting a shot, doing a reload after that, firing 2 more after that. keeping the gun in your hand when you bend over, because who lets you do that on the range?
Well, that's what I was going to say, Chris, is even people who shoot often and maybe shoot well as far as the bullet goes where they're aiming, they don't get to do those types of drills a lot of places.
Right.
I mean, you're going to get yelled at a lot of public ranges if you do a reload. Like you drop a magazine and put a new magazine in the gun. Oh my gosh. How dare you?
And then your mag bounces out in front of the line. They have to shut everything down so a guy can get a little broom and scoop it back to you.
And I get it. Like it's a public range. It's tricky. You're kind of you definitely have her going for the lowest common denominator. You have to keep people kind of moving through.
Well, whatever you do most often is what you're going to do when you have no time to think.
Yeah.
And if all you've ever done is ease your mag out and set it on a table and not drawn from a holster and never dropped a magazine to the ground, yes, it can be a daunting task.
Do you ever have people you're like, you hit the button and you just let the mag fall all the way to the ground? Do they look at you like, oh no?
Oh, they can't stop easing it. And I'll be like, let the mag fall. And they're like, oh yeah, like it's a hot potato, And then they reach for the next one.
Are they worried it's going to break?
I think there's people like that. Back in the old days, training cops, man, especially on indoor ranges with cement floors, we broke mags.
Yeah.
But they would be so worried. And I was like, listen, if your magazine breaks, you can get a new one. You can get a new one, and you probably might even need it if it breaks that easy, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so then, then you move to the reload, and then you got to bend over with a loaded gun in your hand. But think about this. How many people let you bend over with a loaded gun in your hand to pick something up? Next to nobody. Might you ever have to do that? Because that magazine that you're picking up off the deck to reset the drill can symbolize what? Your car keys, your cell phone, the magazine that was in your gun. Maybe it fell out. I don't know what it could be. Maybe it's your glasses and you absolutely need them to get out of there. That magazine symbolizes anything you want it to be. And should I be putting my gun away? If I can, I should.
If I just had to shoot in self-defense,
right,
should I be rushing to put the gun away?
Exactly. So now I bend over with the gun in my hand, which is oh my God, heaven forbid. Oh my goodness, we can't do that. So then you give them that responsibility. Then they do a magazine exchange, which is manipulation skills, which is great. Okay, but you're teaching them to put an empty mag back in the gun. No, we're not. We're going through administrative motions and weapon handling skills.
Yeah, I mean, you have to reset the drill.
All the make-believe is over. Now we're working on skills. Then we're reset for the drill. But what, people think, I'm not going to be there when you leave and you go to the gas station down the street here and you get in your shooting and something's on the ground. You're looking at your phone and the shooting happens, you drop your phone to engage, and now I need that phone. Have you ever taken your brain there? Have you ever gone there? No, it was my car keys. How do I get away from this situation without my car keys? Well, I guess I better put my gun away.
It is funny because it's such a little simple thing, and maybe someone listening to this will go, well, why do I need to practice that? But I guess here's the thing. Have you ever shot your gun and bent down or kneeled down with your gun pointed at the threat and picked something off the ground? I mean, what I'm describing sounds stupidly simple, but have you ever done it?
Why wouldn't you be inherently aware of where your muzzle and your trigger finger are at all times when handling a gun? Well, because someone always told me what to do.
Yeah.
They always told me to take the gun out, to point it in this direction, to keep my finger off the trigger, not to bend over. They tell me what not to do. Mm-hmm. But now you're saying I can do this? I always thought that was a good idea, but I never had permission.
Yeah. Well, we do kind of run a big boy range here as far as like...
We do.
We expect you to be able to handle the gun and be safe with it. We are not defaulting to distrust.
Right.
Which is sometimes people would hide behind, well, it's safer this way. But it's just a different way of doing it.
If it's not safe enough to do on the range, it's not safe enough to do in the real world. How about that? People say, oh, you can't do that. You can't walk from this shooting line with a loaded gun back there to prep the rest of your mags. You can't pop your partial mag out of your gun that's in your holster and refill it and then come back down to the line and do something. I mean, I understand, oh, we don't do administrative stuff with the gun. We don't want them to refill their partial mag and then stick it in the back. Oh, well, there's a time and a place for everything, because if you do stick that magazine back in the gun and it's still in your holster, do you have the presence of mind? Have you been taught to seat, sweep, and tug? Because we seat the magazine, we sweep to make sure our shirt, because I've worked in undercover positions, to make sure our shirt isn't caught or something's caught in between the mag well and the gun, and then give it a little tug to make sure it is seated. I mean, there's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah, and I think you think competition is good, but the way competitions typically run things is a very, very, very controlled environment, and I understand why they have to do that. But a competition is a game. Uh-oh, Ryan just said that. USPSA is a game. It's a shooting game, which is fine. It's great.
And you get a walkthrough.
And it's skill building, and this is wonderful. But like, people carry guns, like every day that are loaded on their person.
So, yeah, exactly.
It can be done.
So when you leave here and you load up your gun, and then the people, we had one guy come in last week and said, hey, I don't know where to unload my gun. My gun's loaded. What do I do? I'm like, there's like 270 degrees of berm out there, not to mention your trunk and all kinds of ground that you can point your gun at and unload it. Do you think you can unload it on your own safely? And he said, well, yeah, I just didn't know. And I'm like, I get it. I'm just screwing with you.
I'm just messing with you.
I'm screwing with you, because it's like, I mean, I don't know. I load and unload my gun in my bedroom sometimes. Is there a safe direction in there? I don't know, as long as there's no people on the other side, but I really don't even want a hole in the wall of my house.
But Chris, you can't point your gun at anything you're not willing to destroy, which would be all of the walls in my house.
And including the floor.
Including the floor. I don't want holes in the floor.
I sure as hell don't want a hole in my ceiling.
Yeah.
All the way out, like through the shingles and everything.
Always and never.
Yeah, always and never are great words. I love to stay away from them, because even though I've never been on Naked and Afraid, I would like to think I would never eat dog poop, but I haven't been on Naked and Afraid, and I've seen them eat some pretty wild stuff.
That feels like a perfect ending to this episode. Dog poop, Naked and Afraid.
I mean, I'm quite often afraid. Sometimes I am naked, but I mean, it happens. I mean, I live in the country. I can be naked anywhere I want.
You can do what you want, man. You get acreage.
And it's scary, especially at night.
All right, guys. Well, hopefully this has been fun, entertaining. I know that we had fun with it. That's it.
Just stuff to think about. Just think about everything we said.
Yeah. Not picking on any particular type of gear.
Or people. Or anything. You don't know until you know.
Yeah. Hopefully give you something to think about. We will see you next time on Gun Talk Nation.